Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm so excited that you're here. Oh, I have another news story to share with you that I am so excited about. But first of all, if you're new here, welcome. And if you've come back, I'm so glad that you're here. You know, we've been exploring some really good books about some of the emotions and some of the feelings that we have that come up sometimes unexpectedly, or sometimes there are emotions that we've been dealing with for a long time, and we're learning how to express them by talking and looking at other experiences that someone has possibly gone through that will help us to know that we're not alone, first of all, and that a lot of those feelings and emotions are normal. They happen. And there's ways that we can talk about them that will help us learn how to expect them or work through them. And definitely learning how to talk about them with our trusted, safe adults like mom or dad, grandma or grandpa, aunts or uncles, our friends, our teachers. If you go to a place of worship like a church or a temple, synagogue, you have a lot of people around you that really care about you, like me. And I know that one of the biggest reasons why I come on and want to talk with you is because I want you to know that you matter. You have a purpose. This whole world needs you because you are here for such a time as this. And you have amazing talents and skills that make you, you. And you are unique. And we want you to go on to be the best that you possibly can be. And hopefully be able to make some really, really good choices that will help you as you go through life. And sometimes life isn't as easy as what we would hope it would be, right? But it makes it a little bit better when you know that people are here rooting for you and believing in you, and that you can try really hard to bounce back from those things. Have you ever heard of that? To bounce back and kind of shake some of that stuff off and learn and grow from it. We just don't want you to get stuck there. And when we get stuck there, that means we have a really hard time coming out of a lot of those emotions. And sometimes that's what happens. But we're helping to start that talk now and to be able to say that a lot of those emotions, like I said, are true and are real. But if you do get stuck, make sure that you do talk to someone that can help you. Hey, listen, it's okay that we need help. First of all, when you were born, did you know how to ride a bike or to play a game or to help make food or wash dishes? No, you had to learn, and someone had to show you and guide you. Let's go back to the bike. So when you first started, there were training wheels and it looked kind of exciting, but that bike was a little wobbly and you got nervous because you felt like you might fall. But someone was usually there, someone either rooting you on or holding that bike while you started to take your first few pedals, right, on that bike. And maybe it scared you. And I think I would have felt scared too because I didn't want to fall. But falling is also part of the process, right? So you get up, you shake it off, and you try again because you had hope that this time would be the time. And we keep using that as an experience that showed us the more we tried, the better we got at it, and we learned and we went on. And then there's some people who needed extra help, who still are learning. And maybe they're at the point where they're ready to take off the training wheels. And we all learn at different times. And that's the beautiful part about it. And there's also people like myself who have learned how to ride a bike and have come back to say to you that you can do it too. I believe in you, and I want you to believe in yourself. And that's what this is all about. So I want to remind you that any of the books that I read are written by the different people that I will tell you about. You can find these books at a local library, maybe even at your school if you're at a school. You can also find people who have read these books and shown the pictures online. You can buy this book online. There's so many different ways for you to get it. And I would encourage you as well, if you like these stories and you want to read the stories and look at the faces even closer, absolutely go and do that. Share it with a friend, read it to them, and that will start that talk that we keep saying is so important. So let's get started right away. This book is called Be Kind, and it is written by Pat Zietlow Miller, and it is illustrated by Jen Hill. And in this story, these two girls play a really important role in showing us what it means to be kind, what it might look like for these two in this story. And maybe you've been in a similar situation, or maybe you might be in a similar situation. And maybe thinking back to this story will help us make some really good choices. Or they may even give us some good ideas about how to be kind. We've all heard one of the big things everyone's saying now is be kind, but sometimes we don't know what that looks like for us and how to do it. And so this book gives us some great ways, some great tools for us to use to think about of how it means to be kind. And one of the favorite parts in here I have is how to listen, not only with our ears, but with our heart. And another really important part to being kind that not too many people really talk about is using our eyes to pay attention to the person that we're talking to or want to talk to. Because what we see with our eyes by how they are acting and what we call their body language, how they're moving their body, will show us a lot more about how they're feeling than maybe sometimes the words that they're saying that we hear. So being kind is also using our eyes. Have you ever heard that before? Oh, you're going to see it. I'm going to show you how important it is because they bring it up. And that's one of my favorite parts. So let's get ourselves ready. Shake out all the wiggles. Get yourself into a comfy spot and get ready to listen. Here we go. Tanisha spilled grape juice yesterday. Oh no, poor Tanisha. Oh, look at that face. What do you think? How's she feeling? Shocked? Surprised? Disappointed? Sad? Whew, those are a lot of different emotions. Did you come up with anything else that might be different than I thought? Good, keep thinking. All over her new dress. Oh, Tanisha, look at your face. I don't think you're feeling so good about that. And what I really feel bad about is look at all the children laughing, pointing. Oh, no. Except for one person right here whose eyes are looking at Tanisha. And she's noticing how Tanisha's feeling. Everyone laughed. I almost did too. But Mom always tells me to be kind, so I tried. Ooh, see, she's remembering something that her mom had talked to her about once before. I don't think it worked. I said, purple's my favorite color. I thought Tanisha would smile. But she ran into the hall instead. I love that she tried, but I think it may have made Tanisha remember about her juice stain on her dress. Well, when Tanisha came back, snack time was over. She put on her art smock and didn't look at anyone. And here's the thing. Look at all the kids now. Did they even notice that Tanisha came back? No. But Tanisha still felt bad. And she was still looking. Remember, she just saw her leave, and she's been thinking about her. So she was looking up and seeing how Tanisha felt. Poor Tanisha, look what she was doing. One hand was pulling the smock down further, probably trying to cover up that stain. And the other hand is wiping away maybe a tear, but her head is down. That's showing us that she's not feeling very good about this situation. That's that part about keeping our eyes open and eyes looking to see those around us. I almost told Tanisha that art was my favorite class, but I didn't want her to leave again. So I painted purple splotches and added some green until I had a bunch of beautiful violets. While I painted, I thought about Tanisha. Should I have handed her my napkin? Or let her borrow my sweatshirt? Spilled my juice so everyone stared at me instead? What does it mean to be kind anyway? Oh, those are a lot of big thoughts that she was having about how she could have helped. And now she wants to think more about what it would mean to be kind anyway. What could she do? Let's go find out. Maybe it's giving. Making cookies for Mr. Rinaldi, who lives alone. Oh, maybe giving is being kind. Or letting someone with smaller feet have my too tight shoes. He might win races in them too. Oh, look at his face. Is he happy to get those gently used clothes? Could make a world of difference for someone. We don't know what people are going through, but we know that we can do something to maybe help. And guess what? Giving seems to be a way to be kind. And giving doesn't always mean making cookies and giving them away, or making a dinner for a family who maybe are going through a very difficult time, or giving clothes away, although that's a great way to help. Maybe it's helping. And I was just saying that would be a great way to help. So maybe caring is helping. Putting dirty dishes in the sink. I know for me as a mom, that's something that's very kind and helpful for me to have my family help me with, because sometimes it's going to take all of us to get the job done. Cleaning up after Otis, our class guinea pig. He's a messy eater. So now she's helping the teacher. And maybe the teacher didn't even have to ask, and she just wanted to go and do it, because it can get a little bit busy at school at times, and having extra hands that are actually helping can make a big difference. Now, this is the part I was talking about, using our eyes to see and to look. This right here, it says maybe it's paying attention. They were swinging together, and her eyes are on him. Now, always be safe, be safe. But she made a very special statement to him that made it personal just for him. She said, telling Desmond, I like his blue boots. Look at his face. Oh, he's so happy. Now, it would be nice for her to say, I like your boots. But because she was paying attention and looking, she noticed that not only did he have on boots, he had on blue boots. And she saying that to him, her saying that to him made him very happy. And it looks like he's very excited because he noticed that someone else was looking and liked his boots. Another way, asking the new girl to be my partner. Maybe she noticed that this girl was walking around all alone, and she just decided to go up to her because maybe she looked a little lonely. That was something very special and easy to do, but it made a big difference for the girl who was walking all alone. Listening to Aunt Franny's stories, even the ones I've heard before. Oh, I think we've all kind of been in a situation like that, right? But you know what? Giving our time and our attention with our eyes looking makes a big difference for someone like Aunt Franny. And it can make a big difference for you too. You'll enjoy your time, and maybe there's new parts of the story you never heard before and that you're going to find so interesting, or maybe you might laugh, or things that you never got to do before. Being kind should be easy, like throwing away a wrapper or recycling a bottle. Yeah, that's something really super easy for us to do, and that makes a big change for our world or our community, right? That's being kind. So is saying thank you. That person that was serving really felt special because you noticed that they did something that was helping you, and you said thank you. Someone sneezed and she said bless you. My mom says the quickest way to be kind is to use people's names. Hey, Kayla. What's new, Omar? Good afternoon, Rabbi Mandelbaum. Look at that. Each time the person looked up and they looked at each other. That probably made this rabbi feel very, very special. And Omar, he was reaching out a hand, giving a high five maybe, and Kayla turned around to look. Now, we also want to be safe, right? But in this community, it looks like she was used to seeing these people, so much so she learned their name. Now, maybe she went to her place of worship and met him before, but always be safe and look to your safe, trusted adult to help guide you on that. But if we're talking about school and you know the teacher or the nurse's name, when you see them in the hallway, say, hi, nurse, whoever your nurse is at school, or, in the library, if you know the librarian's name, say hello. Being kind can be hard too, even when you know what to do. Teaching someone something I'm good at is tricky, even when I'm patient. Look. She's trying to teach someone, maybe it's her little brother, maybe she's babysitting for someone that she knows in the family, whatever it is, she's trying to teach her ABCs that she knows to someone who's still learning. But were they being the most patient while they were learning? No, but she was trying, and she's developing a skill that will help her for the rest of her life. Not easy, but she's doing it, and she's trying her best. Look at this one. And sticking up for someone when other kids aren't kind is really hard. Ooh, this picture used colors to help us understand something about how this student was feeling. This is dark shadow from a person that was not being kind to him. And her noticing that he wasn't feeling good about it because her eyes are on him. But she knew enough that this was not something that should be happening. She wanted to be kind by standing up for this person. Now, again, be safe and go get help if you need to. Go find a trusted teacher to go in this situation to come and help if it's too big. And get help for him and for you and for this person too, who might be a hurting person. But let the safe, trusted adults make that decision if it's too big for you. Because, and it says down here, and really scary. So that's a big word and a big emotion, right? Scary is not always a good feeling. Sometimes there's silly scary, if someone that you knew kind of just popped up behind you and said, boo, and you felt a little afraid or you got a little scared. But this one seems to be like a big, not so good feeling scary. Maybe I can't solve Tanisha's grape juice problem. Maybe all I can do is sit by her in art class. Oh, poor Tanisha is really still having such a hard time. And paint this picture for her, because I know she likes purple too. So just sitting by someone when they're going through a hard time might be a big help too, and that's being kind. Maybe I can only do small things, but my small things might join small things other people do. And together they could grow into something big, like this situation. This one's interesting. So it looks like this lady was using the bus, and she had a big bag with her filled with yarn and her knitting needles. And it looks like she had a hobby or a talent and a skill of knitting or crocheting. And one of the balls of yarn seems to have fallen off in the bus, and she didn't notice. Now this person, we're not sure, it looks like maybe it was someone else that was on the bus, not only noticed it, but decided to do something about it instead of maybe just looking the other way, pretending he didn't see it, or getting upset and saying, oh well, she wasn't paying attention, I'm not going to waste my time. This person decided to do something, and all it was picking up the ball of yarn and calling to her and giving it back. And then she went on to do something good with that yarn, and it looks like she was teaching maybe her grandchild, maybe a neighbor's child that she was babysitting. And she was teaching this person how to knit or crochet with that yarn. And then this person went on, because she had time to teach her, went on to finish making that scarf and giving it to someone else that she knew that maybe didn't have a scarf. And so his kind act of simply picking up something this person had dropped made a big change, and it added together and it grew into something big, bigger than just picking up that yarn. I love that. Or maybe being kind can be something really big, so big that all our kindnesses spill out of our school. Look at this. This is called a consignment shop, somewhere where people bring their gently used clothes and they allow other people to be able to buy them maybe at a cheaper cost, but they need it. They were donating their clothes. They were giving it away to someone else who could use it and make a difference. Or here at the post office. This mail carrier was coming out of the door, and he held open the door for this little lady who was walking in to use the post office. All this mail carrier did was hold the door open. And can you see her face? It made her day. Someone opened the door. And you know, that may just change her whole afternoon, and she'll go on, and that little good deed will turn into another good deed of kindness. In here, this woman was buying flowers from the gentleman who was selling them at his flower store. She might be going on to give those flowers to someone else who's not feeling so good, and that will make them feel better. And he felt good because she was buying flowers from him. The Animal Refuge, like an animal shelter, this family was adopting a new kitty. And they're saving that kitty cat from a life on the street. And this goes on and on at the public library. Oh my, the books look too heavy. And someone was coming over to offer to carry them. She didn't want it to fall or get hurt, or that person to get hurt. They shared the load. All she did is offer her help. She had a minute. At the bus stop, looks like there's visitors from out of town that aren't familiar with the area and didn't know really where they were going, and maybe they could get some help from someone who lived there who could read the map. Really simple, easy thing to do, but it made a world of difference for that person that was being kind. And those things can travel across the country into other bigger things. Right here, this is a person who served in the military in our country, because I can see our flag on there. And people went to welcome him home. Welcome home. They made signs. These are people who had maybe heard about him coming back and wanted to say thank you. And they spent some time making a sign and changed his whole day and maybe the rest of his life. And go all the way. They're playing beautiful music together, helping out a friend who fell while they were ice skating, just extending a hand, helping that person up. Oh no, dropping papers. This person saw and came running over to help pick them up. This person's expecting a baby. And it looks like they were on a train or bus, and this gentleman decided to stand up and give her a seat. Maybe she was so tired from carrying that little baby all around, and he gave her his seat. This person looks like they dropped their glasses and couldn't find them, but someone came and helped. This person's being kind to the animal. Looks like he's a shepherd out in the desert to help him take care of his little animal. And it will go all the way around the world. This little boy was interested in a book that was up too high on the shelf, and she reached over and gave him that book. Easy, nice, good things that we can do. And what I noticed in all of these pictures was that there were sure a lot of smiles happening, and that could change someone's day by doing a simple little act of kindness. And then noticing that the people who were offering their help or their gift of kindness also had a smile on their face, making them feel good about helping someone else. So right back to Tanisha and me. So that kindness went all the way around the world, and it came right back so that we can be kind again and again. Look, here we see it happening here. Someone got hurt, and they might have been out of school for a few days, so they were welcoming back this student. Oh, look right here. Someone decided to share their talent of playing a violin, and people stopped to listen. And this person looks like they were enjoying that music so much, and she's saying thank you by just acknowledging that they stopped, by bowing down and saying thank you. And here we are again. It says, and again, and we saw this picture from around the world. Someone dropped their glasses, and this time they broke. And this person just put her hand on her shoulder and was like, it's okay. We're going to get through this. You're going to be okay. And there's Tanisha with her friend who made that picture. Do you remember that from our beginning part of our story? Can we make a guess at what she's going to do? You're right. And again, she was showing her kindness by giving her that picture that she did that she made while she was thinking about Tanisha. And look, Tanisha was turning now to look at the picture. And she's looking at her. Do you think this could make a change in Tanisha's day and start her thinking about other things? Because sometimes we get stuck on thoughts that don't make us feel so good. And maybe she kept seeing that spilled juice over and over again, or heard the people laughing at her again and again. And now she's seeing someone who didn't say anything, just handed her a picture, and she's giving it a chance. And maybe she'll give it a chance to make a difference. And it did. She went home with that picture and she hung it up on her wall. And maybe she'll use it to think about all the times that she wasn't feeling so good, but that this picture from someone helped change how she was feeling. And it will give her the courage to remember that kindness always wins. Oh, I hope that this story gave you some ideas about how you can be kind. Or maybe you were one of the ones that received kindness from someone else. Maybe you dropped a project that you were bringing to school, or were about to give to someone, and it dropped, and maybe it broke. How heartbreaking. You must have felt sad. And maybe someone came along by you and helped you pick it up, or picked up the pieces, and maybe you were able to tape it back together or glue it back together, and how that made you feel. Well, I hope that you feel encouraged today, that you can go out and make someone else's day by just being kind. Maybe just looking at someone and smiling is enough to let that person know that they matter and that you see them. Some people feel like they're invisible and can't be seen, but you waving at them gave them hope for a new day. And I hope that you feel the same about our time together. Well, thank you again for stopping by. You go be you, and go be awesome, and go be great, and go do good things for other people. Bye. I'll see you again. Come back.